Let's go to Steve in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Steve, what's up, brother? How can I help?
Hey, how you doing? I appreciate you taking the call.
Thanks for calling, brother. What's up, man?
So my question is, how can I not be so bitter at my job or my place of employment?
How can you not be so bitter? What are they doing to you, man? They hitting you with sticks and stuff? What's happening?
Not so much. I've been there about 15 years now, and
what do you do?
I work at a plant.
Okay.
If you could think Homer Simpson sitting in front of a computer and pushing buttons, that's what I do.
So I get why you're bitter.
Actually, it is really it's a slow job, but
Okay.
it can be a good job. It's interesting.
That's what my wife says about me. Like, he's not very
Right.
fast. He just kind of meanders around, but he can be all right.
But he's interesting.
He's
right?
interesting,
Yeah.
right? That's right. Okay, so why are you bitter, man?
So I hired in about 15 years ago.
Okay.
The last job I had, I was in supervision. It was a different field, but in my mind, supervision is supervision. People are people. You manage people. You learn the process. You manage the process. So my train of thought was, I've done this for so long, I'm going to go and start looking at that. Well, 15 years, 12 interviews later, and I'm still sitting in the same place that I've been day one.
Mm.
And again, it can be a boring job. So, it's just a lot of time sitting there, sometimes literally doing nothing.
Steve, why won't they promote you? Hold on. Let me ask that. Let me change that question. I asked you a bad question. What about you is not promotable after 15 years?
So there's a couple of things. One, I'm not without my faults. I have been known to make my opinion known when maybe I should have just kept my mouth shut about decisions.
I make my opinion known a lot here at where I work. And I work for Dave Ramsey, who's an opinionated guy. So
I've heard.
Yeah, that's the rumor, right? So having an opinion and letting it be heard isn't the issue. What is your actual issue? Are you a jerk sometimes?
I don't think so. No.
Do you dig your heels in on stuff? Like what?
Yes, but there's times that we have to, safety reasons, etc. They even they promote that.
Okay.
If you don't believe in this thing, if there's a problem with it, it's up to you to stand up and say no.
But they're not promoting you though, and so there's a difference between what they're saying they want and what you're providing them.
Right.
Okay. What is that difference?
I don't know. I've done special projects for them. Anytime I do a project, I'm always told, man, that was great, wonderful. You did an outstanding job. I hear great things. My first thought, honestly, is I'm not in the clique.
Okay.
I don't go out drinking after work. I don't play golf on the weekends. Well, not necessarily the weekends. Our schedule's rotating, but I just the things that a lot of those guys do, I don't do.
Okay. And so the currency at that job are those things. And you have chosen to not participate, which I don't fault you at all. Okay. You have your own life. You have kids?
4 of them, yeah.
Okay. So they have taken priority, and your wife's taken priority over playing around on the weekends and whatnot. That's awesome, man.
Right.
And you happen to work at a place where that's currency. Or there's an illusion that that's currency. I don't always believe that it is, but it might be. When you're not getting invited to those things, you're not doing those things, it's easy to think that's the currency. But let's just pretend it is. What else, man? You said you make your opinions known. What else?
That's honestly, that's about the only 2 things I've been really honestly come up with.
Have you ever worked with a boss who's a jerk?
Plenty, yeah.
Have you ever worked with a boss who's just a loudmouth moron?
Yep.
And they still had a promotion. They were still in leadership, right?
Right.
So it's been my experience that having a loud opinion doesn't keep you out of jobs. It's a lack of social awareness when you decide to do that. It's people who gossip. It's people who whine. It's people who are always complaining. It's people who, that's the stuff that, in my experience of 20 years of hiring and firing a lot of people, that has kept, and then when I experienced that, when I was whining and complaining and whatnot, and I didn't get promoted. So I'll come back to you. If you were the boss, why wouldn't you promote you? For 15 years.
I'm really at a loss. I mean, I've thought it over. I've dwelled on it so much. It's literally affected my health where I've just had to say, you know what, I don't care anymore.
But you do care though, man. You do.
I do care. You're right.
Yeah, you do.
But, I can't even get and this is, actually it comes back to my original question, but I can't even get an answer from like HR. Why, give me some feedback on the last last interview I did. I did an interview in April. Mm-hmm. So 2 weeks after they made a decision, and I emailed the HR people and said, hey, give me some feedback. Why did what can I do better? And it was a very professional email. It was, nice and courteous and, what can I do better? What do I need to work on? Mm-hmm. Well, here it is, the end of August, and all I keep getting is, oh, I'm just so busy, I'll get back with you. Oh, I'm just so busy, I haven't forgot about you, I'll get back with you.
Who's your supervisor? Who's your leader at the company?
I work at one plant that's owned by a corporation.
Okay.
And there's, I've probably got 5 bosses within the plant.
Okay.
Stair step up, but.
And so after 15 years, you don't have a relationship with one of those people, one of those women or men that you could say, dude, what's the deal, man?
A couple of them I did, and I was kind of waiting on that HR because I've worked with them in the past. Uh-huh. Others, they just rotate them around often.
So a few years ago, this is a couple universities ago, I thought I was a shoo-in for a big promotion, and I didn't get it. And not only did I not get it, I didn't even get an interview for it, which was a signal, right?
Right.
That was a message that was sent. And so I reached out to a buddy who was a senior leader and said, dude, what happened? And he said, man, I have no idea. Let me find out. And they did some digging around. And then he said, I got some answers. Let's go to lunch. And dude, it was a hard lunch. And he told me, here's your reputation around here. And It was 100% opposite of the reputation I wanted to have. And I didn't understand how I'd gotten it at first. And then as I began to dig into it, I started to go, oh, no, right? And I had some major behavior changes and some major soul searching to do. And I'd ask myself, is this the group that I want to be associated with longer term, right? And ultimately, I transitioned myself out. Mm-hmm. So 2 things are going on here, I think. Number 1, they have been sending you a message for a long, long time, and I don't think you want to hear it. And so I'll just be direct. They don't value you there. Anything beyond what your day job is. And that's hard to hear because you've given 15 years of your life to that company, but they don't have any sort of trajectory for you. They don't. Right? Because either they would give you a set of skills you could be working on. I've had hard conversations at every place I've ever worked. People have pulled me in a room and said, hey, dude, we need this from you instead of that. Or this isn't going to cut it. We need this. And I love those because it's them investing in me. You're not getting that.
Right.
But loud and clear, they're saying, we're not investing in you. And this is where this is going to stop for you. And so the question you have to ask yourself is this when it comes to bitterness, right? Because bitterness is this gap between what we think we deserve and what we're actually getting, right? That's what bitterness is.
Yeah.
You've got to ask yourself, do I like this job? Does it pay well? I've been trying for 15 years for something and it's not working. So starting today, I'm going to stop hitting my head up against that wall because I've tried that a bunch and it's not working. Am I at peace with being here and clocking out and going home to be with my 4 kids and my wife? Or do I want to get back into leadership, at which point I'm going to have to leave? And I'm not going to be angry with anybody. I'm not going to not run this company down and be angry at my leaders and what. I'm just going to start looking for somewhere else to go. I'm going to do that with joy in my heart and peace in my heart. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Anything beyond that is a choice, A, for you to be miserable. B, it's a choice for you to play revenge or get back or whatever for something that you really aren't owed. And then here's the second thing. So that's number one. They're communicating loud and clear. We don't value you beyond where you are. The second thing here is, I don't think you really want to know, because I've been in your seat multiple occasions through 20 years of professional work, man. And when I want to know why I got passed up for promotion, I'll go find out. I really want to know, even if it's uncomfortable for me. And so I'm going to come back to, I've asked this at the beginning, I'm going to ask it again. Do you really, really not know why they're passing you up, or do you kind of know and you don't really want to dig in and hear it?
I mean, I probably kind of know. I probably have a reputation because because of things I brought up early on. I don't know. I guess they didn't like the way I brought it up. Maybe someone got rubbed wrong. I don't know. I mean, I'm generally a nice guy. I mean, unless someone really rubs me wrong, but, so let me ask you this then.
Okay.
So if I say, and you know, I'm kind of at the point where I'm just like, you know what, I'm good right where I am.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going for any more promotions, not going to do it. I'm going to stay right where I am. This job pays very well.
Yeah.
It's union job, union pension. It's worth sticking around. I got 10 or 12 more years and I can walk out the door, not necessarily a golden parachute, but it's going to be really nice.
You'll be a made man. There you go.
I will be, yeah. So, you know, my question really is, how do I just let this go and say, you know what, the past, I'm just going to move forward? Because there are days I go in there and say, you know what, I don't even want to give you 100%.
And that is not about them. That's an integrity issue between Steve and Steve.
Yeah.
And any day you choose to not give 100%, and each day you choose to go in there halfway is a day that you don't cheat that company. You're cheating yourself, man. It's an integrity decision, right? And so I think that we overemphasize work. I mean, when I say work, overemphasize job description and title as a proxy for self-worth. I think we way overdo it in this culture. I'd much rather be considered a great dad than a vice president of a thing. Right now, providing a good living, and I can go spend time with my family. All that stuff's really important. So if you are at peace with where you are, then brother, be at peace with where you are. And so what you're going to need to do is a couple of things. Number one, you're going to need to have a hard conversation with Steve that says, I am completely at peace with where I'm at. Whatever I do at a given day, and I don't know exactly the ins and outs of your job, I deliver value to people on the other end of this thing. And their life, their day, their whatever is better because Steve is in it. You have to have some sort of purpose in your job. It could be providing levity and joy to those who work around you, to the salesmen that you work with, for others. I don't know exactly what you do, right? But it's about finding purpose where you're at. The second thing is you're going to have to take your wife out and not apologize, but say, I'm done complaining and whining about my job that I've done for 15 years. And for 15 years, I've stayed here because the money's good, but I've just been bitter. I've just been frustrated. I've just been angry, and I'm putting all that to bed. And in fact, I want you to call me on it when you hear me starting to bring it up again. Just touch my arm. Just reach your hand out and touch my hand. You're going to have to practice is what I'm telling you, Steve, okay? And having your wife to hold you accountable is going to be important. And then if you've just been complaining and whining about your job in front of your kids, tell them, bring them in and say, guys, I haven't handled this the right way. I'm sorry. I've been trying to get stuff and I've been bitter and frustrated, and I'm going to put that down. I'm going to go in, I do a good job, I'm paid a fair wage, and I wanted to be a leader, and I don't even want to do that anymore. I'm grateful for the time I get to spend with you guys. And then when you are off, when you go to work and you have those days where there's nothing for you to do, you can find things either to reach out to your supervisor and your leader and say, hey man, how can I finished all my work today? Anything else, any other projects I can lean into, or a coworker, how can I help? Or if it's not one of those kind of jobs, it's a kind of job where you just sit and do nothing, literally. Then take that time as self-improvement time. Take an online course. Get an associate's degree in something for free. They got free community college there in Dallas. Get a book and start reading. Get a couple of guys at work that do the same stuff as you and start a book club where y'all are reading stuff together. Begin writing your wife letters every day at work and tell her how wonderful she is. I don't care what they are, but choose to use that time productively, instead of just sitting there in that gap between what you think you're entitled to and what's actually happening in reality. If after 15 years of being scorned, of not getting promotion, and here's the thing, I'm not mad they didn't promote you. I do think it's lame that A, they kept you around for 15 years and haven't been honest with you, unless they have and you just didn't want to hear it. But B, you asked for feedback and they're not giving it to you. That sucks. That's lame. Any business owner out there, if somebody comes to you and says, hey man, how can I get better? Have the courage to be honest with them, even if it's a hard conversation. That's the part I don't like, Steve, is that they're not treating you with integrity. They're not being honest with you about what you can do better next time, or how you can grow as an employee, or how you can grow, fill in the blank. They're not even being honest with you and saying, management will not be in the cards for you here, period. We love what you're doing for us and we love the role you are in. You will not be a leader at this facility. I wish they would tell you that. Then you could mourn it and then move on with your day. They're not doing that, right? At the end of the day, you walking in every day with a set of affirmations that said, here's the kind of man I'm going to be when I get to work. I'm going to be someone who's got purpose, who tries to make other people's day better. I'm going to do my job with excellence. I'm going to let my wife and kids know that I'm grateful for the job I have, and I'm going to put in the hard work. And then when I have a gap in time, I'm going to invest in Steve to get more skills, to learn things, to start hobbies, whatever the thing is going to be. And when you feel that resentment and that bitterness rise up, you catch it, you go for a walk, you breathe it out. Sometimes I'll find myself and have you heard me say it on the show? I'll say, nope, not going there. And I'm going to stop that thought cycle. I'm not going to get on that road. They didn't ask me to be a part of that team. I'm not on that team. Do I think I should have been on it? Yep. And that's the last conversation I'm going to have with myself about that today. I'm going to put an end to it. If you begin to practice this over time, that default setting will shift. I promise you. You got to be intentional about it. You got to bring other people in on this deal. You got to be apologetic and say, I'm moving on from the past. But you can get there. Be graceful with yourself as you practice it. You've been whining and complaining and frustrated for 15 years. It's not going to change overnight. But you will become a more joyful person to be around. You'll become somebody that people will flock to when I come to. And by the way, start an exercise program at home. Ask your wife if after 15 years she wants to go to marriage counseling and wants to recreate your marriage into something really powerful and fun and exciting. Pick up fishing. Begin to do things that are about moving your body, about growing your heart, growing your mind, and separate yourself from this identity anchor you've given yourself, which is, I need to be a leader. I have before. Leadership is leadership. I've done it before. I can do it again. Well, not here. You can't. Okay? I think you're a person worth growing, Steve, and right now your company's not investing in it, so you can. And choose joy. Thanks for the call, brother.